Paralogue 20, Ultimate Power. Odin reunites with his daughter, Ophelia, while visiting a village that is well known for quality tomes. Enemies suddenly attack, planning to steal a rare tome.
Such are the whims of fate! Ugh, my aching blood!
Fair finger of fate.
Hey! Hmm? Whoa, whoa! What?
Yes.
What?
Sorry.
Huh!
What? Ophelia, here to serve.
Huh! Ha ha! Ah! The chosen hero arrives! Eldritch Smackdown!
The chosen heroine arrives. Luminary uppercut.
Huh!
This mission is of a piece with our last one. It's another route map that asks us to defend 4 different points. This time, our task is to protect and visit these villages, one in the southwest, one in the northwest, one in the northeast, and the last in the southeast. Each of them will grant us a precious treasure. One difference is that on this map, rather than starting on the outside and having to quickly reach the center, we're starting roughly in the middle of everything. We have to push outward. Opposing us are a great variety of enemies. Interestingly, this faction of ruffians includes not only Norian enemies like berserkers and generals, but also Hoshiden Onmyoji, Masters of Arms, Spearmasters, and the like. Their leader is a merchant called Senno. He has 2 skills from outside of his native class set, Seal Magic and Lucky 7. I think those are both meant to make him a more credible threat to Ophelia, since he's at a disadvantage against tomes. Potent Potion just makes his Vulnerary a little more powerful. It won't matter at all. This will be Odin's last mission, so one thing we have to do here is to raise him to at least level 5. At the same time, we'll want to complete Leo and Odin's support chain, since Odin is Leo's most useful friendship option. Also, Senno is capturable, so we must bring Niles. In light of that, it makes sense to bring Nyx too. We want her and Niles to get married pretty soon. Our newest team member is Odin's daughter, Ophelia. Like her father, she starts as a dark mage, but her stats are naturally more inclined towards offense than his. Having Elise for a mother exaggerates that difference, so in terms of raw stats, Ophelia is built more like Nyx than Odin, but she's actually better than both of our previous dark mages in just about every respect. The fact that Ophelia's growth skewed differently from her father's gives her an advantage when it comes to stat inheritance. If you train him, Odin tends to pass down a decent amount of HP, strength, skill, and defense, and indeed he has. Even Elise has contributed in those departments, since we raised her in a physical class and we gave her a Seraph Robe and Draco Shield. The greatest gift Ophelia gets from her father is his class set. Way back when we first met Odin, I mentioned that the Samurai class offers 2 important skills for a sorcerer. One of those is Vantage, which Ophelia has inherited. Vantage makes Nosferatu tanking even better. Ophelia has a lot of magic, and with Nosferatu, that sometimes causes difficulties. Suppose you're fighting a lot of enemies at once and you're aiming to kill them all in 2 hits. If your attacks can take away 80 or 90% of each enemy's HP, then after the first round of combat, you'll probably still be very healthy because Nosferatu will have stolen a lot of health back. On the second round, you'll take the same attacks, but because all the enemies will have very little HP left, you'll hardly be able to heal yourself at all, and so you might die. This is one of the reasons why Nyx is not a good Nosferatu tank. With Vantage though, you can preempt those second attacks until you have at least 50% of your maximum HP again. So if either you can finish off all the enemies before you get back to 50%, or you can survive another attack after you heal yourself past that point, you're completely safe. So Vantage enhances Nosferatu. That's far from the only thing it's good for, particularly on a mage as powerful as Ophelia. We'll see what else she can do with Vantage soon. Later on, the second key skill we can get from the Samurai tree is Life and Death. That skill makes the user both deal and take 10 extra damage. After stacking it with other damage boosts, Ophelia can one-shot just about every enemy in the game, while Vantage negates the penalty to damage taken. At that point, she can solo entire maps, killing everything in one hit while being literally invincible. Other characters can do that too, but an Ophelia mothered by Elise is both the best at it and the cheapest. The closest competition is Leo. He gets Samurai access through Odin, and he has the exact same personal magic growth rate as Elise Ophelia, while having a comparable magic base. But a few things hold him back a little. Ophelia doesn't need a Heart Seal to level up in Sorcerer, which has a substantially higher magic growth rate than Leo's native Dark Knight class. So if you don't make Leo jump to Sorcerer very quickly, Ophelia tends to outpace him in magic even without getting 2 extra points from her mother. You can certainly make up for that difference with a Spirit Dust or 2. Those are abundant in Conquest, and they'll allow Leo to cap magic anyway, but his cap is 3 points lower than Ophelia's. Having been given 2 extra points of magic by her mother, Ophelia has decent chances to reach her higher cap naturally, without any Spirit Dust at all. If she gets there, she's less dependent than anyone else on having a pure magic boosting partner, such as Sorcerer Corrin or Sorcerer Elise, to reach the game's most demanding kill thresholds. Another advantage for Ophelia is the solid accuracy lead that she can expect to have over Leo or especially Nyx. Accuracy does matter a lot in this context. Also, unlike the first-gen alternatives, Ophelia can get some useful abilities through inheritance. Our Ophelia has received not only Vantage, but also Lunge. One of my goals with this playthrough is to show off the extreme end of Ophelia's potential. However, that goal is kind of at odds with the main conceit of the run. We're trying to train everyone, so we can't have Ophelia simply eat every enemy in our way for the rest of the game. Going forward, part of the challenge is to help Ophelia reach her highest power levels, including hopefully a natural S rank in tomes, without truly letting her loose, until the time is right. That said, sometimes it's very helpful if we just have Ophelia do her thing. Right away, we want to use her to eliminate the crowd in the southwest. She pulls the Nosferatu tome from the convoy, she equips it, and then she uses her offspring seal. This gives Ophelia the same choice that her father had upon promotion. Although she is this game's greatest sorcerer, you shouldn't completely discount the Dark Knight class. It is a lot bulkier than Sorcerer, and it's more mobile, while its speed is only 1 point lower. If you're trying to do normal combat, where you aim to kill your enemies by taking a hit and doubling them back, then Dark Knight is best. Yes, its offensive stats are a little worse, but they're more than sufficient for Ophelia. However, we are trying to make the greatest possible use of the Vantage skill she inherited from her father. For that, Ophelia must maximize her raw magic. Only Sorcerer will do. The items you can get in this paralog are so good that you often want to do it as early as possible. But one nice side effect of waiting until now is that the rounding on auto levels works in Ophelia's favor twice. She gets raised from level 10 to level 20 with a 75% magic growth, so she gains 7.5 points of magic. The auto level formula rounds to the nearest integer and it rounds halves up, so Ophelia receives an extra half point over her nominal average. And then upon using her offspring seal, she levels up once more from 1 to 2 with an 80% growth. That also rounds up. With this much magic, Ophelia has 37 displayed attack, plus 2 from Malefic Aura and 2 more from Inspiration. That's 41 total, which is more than enough to one-shot any of these Wyvern Lords, who have 35 HP and only 4 resistance. Ophelia would also deal a sizable amount of damage to the Onmyoji, but not quite enough to kill. That would be a workable outcome, but we would prefer to eliminate them too. More importantly, we're still trying to get Corrin one more level in Dark Knight so he can learn Malefic Aura himself. We don't need to give him a lot of kills, but we should have him pick up experience wherever he can. The best way he can do that is not by pairing up with Ophelia, but rather by tag teaming with her. Ophelia no longer receives Corrin's para bonuses, but she does get to use his dual strikes, which are more powerful than the 3 points of magic she was getting before. Tag teaming also gives Ophelia more accuracy, which she appreciates when using Nosferatu. She does have Heartseeker, which helps against the Wyvern Lords, but most of her opponents can avoid that with ranged weapons. The other penalty for separating Corrin from Ophelia is the loss of 3 points of defense. To mitigate that, we have Jakob, who provides both Gentium and Inspiration. Together, those effectively raise her defense to 15 and her resistance to 23. With Nosferatu and the help of those auras, Ophelia can survive all 5 enemies. But she's not the only one in range. Some enemies could aim for Corrin too. Jakob's Gentium doesn't benefit him, but Evasive Partner does. That provides an even greater boost to Corrin's defenses than Gentium would, and it makes him more evasive to boot. Because of it, the 2 enemies who can target Corrin prefer to target Ophelia. What will happen here is this. The 3 Wyvern Lords and the 2 Onmyoji will all attack Ophelia. She will counterattack with Nosferatu. Her 34 plus 2 plus 2 attack is just barely not enough to one-shot any of the enemies by itself, so Corrin will be dual striking for each kill, at least until Ophelia levels up. Since she's at the same level as the enemies, Ophelia will do that after her 4th kill. In the southeast, the shortest way to the village is guarded by 2 generals. One of them has Wary Fighter, so he's pretty hard to take down, but the other one does not. Thanks to her magic tonic, Felicia can just barely kill the 2nd general by herself. The Wary Fighter General demands a little more effort. Leo chips him down first using his Fire Tome plus Felicia's Flame Shuriken dual strike. We need both of these attacks to hit.
Shall we?
That's not the only task for Leo on this opening turn. He's also one of our best answers to the trio of berserkers in the east. We want to get rid of them as soon as possible. Leo certainly has the magic to do that. Even with only a fire tome, he has 27 magical attack, and they have just 6 resistance. If he could double them, he would deal 21 times 2 damage, and that would kill. But Leo only has 19 speed, and they have 18. Happily, Leo exists in Fire Emblem Fates, a game where you can just give people 5 speed on demand.
I'll fight too.
Leo does not want to fight the Master Ninjas, so he shouldn't go too far.
Such a nuisance.
We still have to finish off the Wary Fighter General. Nyx will do it, though her terrible accuracy is only partly offset by the 14 points of hit she can get with 2 adjacency bonuses. We'd like Niles to be involved. He and Nyx will have very few opportunities to work together on this mission, and it's crucial that they earn at least 2 support points here. Otherwise, they won't be able to complete their S support the next time they're deployed together.
Oh, why not?
With age comes wisdom.
For now, that's all we're doing in the southeast. The 3 berserkers will all die to Leo, and then we're expecting the Master Ninjas to split up. The northern one should head up toward Leo, while the southern one moves past the fort toward Felicia. That's what happens most often, but on occasion, the ninjas will switch. The southern one goes north, and the northern one goes south. That can still work, but not always. It actually depends on how Niles' defensive stats compare with Mozu's. The worst case is having both ninjas go south. That would force a reset. After this coming enemy phase, we will essentially have already secured both of the southern villages. But neither of those is the village that's actually under the most immediate threat. That distinction belongs to the northeastern village. On this map, the enemies who raid the villages are the outlaws or adventurers. The only one of those currently present is the one in the far east by Senno. He's only 15 spaces away from his goal, so we must intercept him by the end of player phase on turn 3. To do that, we first want to get rid of the enemies in the area, the Masters of Arms and the Omyoji.
Hey, it's me.
Parry drops Benny in range of 1 Master of Arms. As it stands, Benny would also pull this second Master of Arms, who would dual strike for the first one. But we can speed things up for ourselves, and spare Benny some injuries, by pulling him separately with our 2 remaining units, Keaton and Mozu.
This could be tough.
Ophelia's hit rates are okay, but they're not perfect. It would have been nice if she could benefit from supportive already.
This is my chance.
What a performance!
We've got this. I can help too.
Most gratifying.
Then again, the extra 2 points of damage from supportive would deny Corrin his dual strikes against the Wyvern birds.
Glad to share the moment.
We won't give up. This ends now.
Most gratifying.
With these growths, Ophelia really takes after her mother.
I'll handle this miscreant. The darkness whispers. Was that all? We stand together! Be well, friend! Failure is no option.
Getting doubled isn't so scary when you're only fighting one enemy and he hits you for 6 times 2. Mozu's dual striking with an Iron Lance because it's the most accurate weapon she has against katanas. We'd prefer to train her bow rank, but we already have plenty of chances for failure on this turn alone. There's no need to add more just for a slightly more desirable type of weapon experience.
I'm with you.
Because she gained magic when she leveled up, Ophelia did deny Corrin his dual strike on the last Wyvern. That's a bit of a shame, but the additional magic on Ophelia is certainly more important than the extra training for Corrin. He can still reach level 7 without it. Ophelia visits the first village.
The chosen heroine arrives.
What she receives is the Horse Spirit Scroll. Judging by its stats alone, Horse Spirit is pretty bad. It's barely stronger than an Unforged Fire Tome, and its accuracy is awful. But the special feature of scrolls, the Hoshidan counterparts to tomes, is that they all provide a certain stat bonus when equipped. The Horse Spirit gives its wielder 3 points each in skill, speed, defense, and resistance. The skill points kind of mitigate Horse Spirit's bad hit rate. Obviously, the extra defense and resistance improve your bulk, and in many cases the speed bonus does that too. Sometimes the raw defensive stats let you take one more hit than you otherwise could have, and then if the speed allows you to charge your guard gauge faster by doubling, you can take another extra hit. So the Horse Spirit can dramatically improve your survivability. Speed matters for offense too, of course, particularly on someone like Leo, a bulky mage with high magic and only middling speed. Corrin makes another great wielder of the Horse Spirit. Our Corrin's magic stat is even better than Leo's. Corrin will use the Horse Spirit, but not immediately. He first takes on the General. We want to kill this enemy on this turn, punching through Wary Fighter with 1 hit on our turn and 1 more on enemy phase. After Corrin's initial attack, Draconic Hex will apply, and that will reduce the enemy's resistance by 4 points, but the penalty will decrease by 1 at the start of the enemy's turn. Hence, Corrin's second strike will deal 3 more damage than his first. With the Forged Thunder, he should hit for 20 damage and then for 23. Sadly, fire only hits for 16 plus 19, which is not enough. Back in the southeast, the enemy Master Ninjas did cooperate with us. Now we have to kill them. Most of our squad around here is ill-prepared to do that, but Odin can set up some easy victories.
Such a nuisance. Let's give him hell. You are in good hands. Corrin, drop here. Not bad, I guess.
Odin's supposed to attack the other Master Ninja too. For that, Azura must sing to him, but she can't reach him. Unless she receives a movement boost.
Be careful.
Azura transfers Jakob to Odin in exchange for Leo. Perhaps it's counterintuitive to have Jakob pair with Odin temporarily. The point of this maneuver is to help isolate Leo for Jakob to heal later. Now Nyx can separate Leo from Azura. Of course, since Leo dodges the Berserkers, he doesn't need any healing, but this positioning is helpful regardless.
Such are the whims of fate. You may rely on me.
help you.
I'll handle this miscreant! I was here first!
Yay!
In the north, we're facing 6 different enemies, a mixed group of 2 Masters of Arms, 3 Onmyoji, and a Priestess. We only have 4 units with which to fight them, and we must keep pushing through. If we were to back off, we'd lose the village. When half of those enemies are mages who one-round Benny, there's a problem. We'll have to get creative. First, Perry eliminates the wounded Master of Arms using her most accurate weapon.
Is that all your blood?
With his resistance tonic, Benny still dies to any of the 3 Onmyoji, but he doesn't die in one hit. Not just one unassisted hit, anyway. Assuming we can prevent the mages from dual striking for each other, then any Onmyoji who attacks Benny will allow him to counterattack, and his counterattacks appear to be lethal. If Benny will kill the enemies before they can kill him, then they'll aim for someone else, and Benny will be safe. But there are a few caveats to that, the first being that we must not allow any magical dual strikes. The simplest way to assure that is to kill 2 out of 3 Onmyoji. Even then, Benny is only exceeding the kill threshold by 1 point. The enemies could move on to defensive terrain, the woods or the pillars. Then Benny will deal 1 less damage, and that might reduce the strength of Perry's dual strike too. In that case, Benny wouldn't be killing them anymore. Perry's attack power is 28 plus 3, or 31, which is an odd number. Against her sword, the Onmyoji have 9 defense, which is also odd. Moving on to woods or pillars makes that even. The mismatch in parity means that Perry's dual strike damage will be reduced by 1.
Luck is on our side.
Hence, Benny would only counter for 17 plus 10. There's an easy fix though. We just make Perry equip a stronger weapon, at the cost of some accuracy.
Yay, Riley! Can I play too?
You were brave.
To get to another Onmyoji, we shall first kill this Master of Arms.
I want to see what happens.
I won't let you die.
You need me. My turn.
You're strong.
Sure.
The southern Onmyoji isn't always just 2 spaces east of Mozu. Sometimes he's northeast of that spot, 2 tiles north of the Priestess instead. No matter where he is, Keaton can always attack him from this desert tile. Because Benny would kill the last Onmyoji on the counterattack, that Onmyoji will prefer to find some other victim who won't do that. Between Perry, Keaton, and Mozu, Keaton has the worst resistance, and unlike the others, he would also take a dual strike from the Priestess if he's standing in the desert,
See what happens.
so Keaton should be the Onmyoji's target.
Fresh meat is the best. I really don't care. That went well.
Now the Priestess maximizes her expected damage by using the Onmyoji's dual strike against Mozu. We just saw Keaton regain 17 HP because his new skill, Better Odds, restores 40% of his maximum HP on odd-numbered turns, and this is turn 3. Because the damage you take is usually staggered, with some turns damaging you more than others, Better Odds is often even more efficient than Renewal, the skill that restores 20% HP on every turn. With it, Keaton almost never needs any other source of healing. That's very convenient. There are no more enemies near Ophelia or Corrin, so they pair up and head north toward our next battlefront. Along the way, Ophelia hands the horse spirit to Corrin, who will use it soon.
I believe in you.
Similarly, Niles pairs with Nyx, and she runs north before dropping him into the small patch of desert there. Felicia enters the southeastern village.
Do this together.
She receives Lightning, a tome that is statistically even worse than the Horse Spirit. But Lightning's special effect is that when you initiate battle with it, it strikes twice as often as normal. You attack 2 times before the enemy can respond, and if you're fast enough to double, you can attack 4 times. It's our first Brave weapon. With only 1 might, it's also the weakest Brave weapon. As compensation, it requires only a C rank in tomes, and it can even be bought at the level 2 armory. All other Braves require A rank, and they're only sold after Chapter 20 in the level 3 armory. Having only 1 might is bad, but might is only part of your total attack power. Damage boosting skills and raw magic still count in full on every attack, so in the hands of a trained mage on player phase, Lightning is almost always the strongest weapon available. Some enemies, particularly enemies with Wary Fighter, can withstand any other tome, but not Lightning. There's a large group of reinforcements from the southeast that is about to close in on Felicia. That group includes 3 Spearmasters, a Mechanist, an Elbow Room Berserker, and an Adventurer. Now there are 2 of those. We're about to eliminate the first Adventurer, and then we'll visit the village in the northeast, so that second Adventurer will have to trek all the way across the map to its northwest corner to get to the final village. Neither Adventurer will ever attack anyone as long as there are still villages to raid. We can exploit that behavior later. Although Felicia can try to run away on her own, the Mechanist will eventually outpace and overtake her. We want to give her a faster escape route, preferably one that will allow her to catch up to the rest of the team and rejoin the action almost immediately. To set that up, Odin walks over between Leo and Azura, and he transfers Jakob to Azura. Instead of running northwest right away, Azura walks into the woods south of Leo, then switches to Jakob, and he transfers her to Leo. If Leo had been damaged, this would be a chance for Jakob to heal him. At this position, Jakob is also close enough to Felicia for her to reach him and pair up with him.
I'll do what no one else
Leo
can.
carries Azura to the north. He switches and Azura transfers him to Corrin. Then she sings to Nyx, who would like to continue building support with Mozu.
It's all right. Appearances can be deceiving. Can we do this? Pay attention! Appearances can be deceiving. I won't let you die.
Sure, why not?
Keaton, Benny, and Perry are still available. Keaton is the one who needs experience the least. We'll give the last 2 kills to the others.
Admit it, you need me.
It's all right.
If you die on me, I'll kill you. I got this.
Thank you.
Perry can kill the Onmyoji using Benny's Dual Strike, but before she does, she makes Mozu equip her Blessed Lance. That will restore Mozu's HP to full, though it would be ending up slightly less than full if she hadn't dodged the Onmyoji's attack.
Have no fear. Stand back!
Teach me that one. Yay, violence!
The second and final wave of reinforcements has appeared in the desert beyond the northern walls. This group comprises 3 heroes instead of 3 spearmasters, an Onmyoji rather than a berserker, and then the same adventurer and mechanist as in the southern group. We'll have to kill this adventurer fairly quickly because he's a lot closer to the remaining villages than the other one is, and that means we need to take down his companions quickly too. To get started on that, Mozu first exchanges weapons with Benny.
Can we do this?
She trades the Blessed Lance for the Forged Bronze Lance, so that Benny can also get some free healing. She hands over the Iron Lance in exchange for the bronze bow he was carrying on her behalf. And she gives Benny the weaker of the 2 javelins, since Benny's only combat tasks for the rest of the mission will call for him to deal as little damage as possible. After that, she pairs up with Benny, and he moves to the village. He transfers Mozu to Keaton before he visits. What Benny receives is a spirit dust. That's great, but it's useless for him, so he dumps it in the convoy. Together, Mozu and Keaton will take on the northern reinforcements first. Keaton has the Beast Stone in hand, and that's his best weapon for dual striking. Mozu needs to equip her javelin. As you can see, the sands at the outskirts of town impede movement. Regular infantry must pay 2 movement points per tile to cross deserts. For mounted units such as the Mechanist, the terrain cost is tripled instead. But Fire Emblem games traditionally allow magical foot units like mages, dark mages, and clerics to walk across deserts with no penalties at all. So by using his earthbending powers, or something, the Onmyoji retains his full 6-tile movement range. There's a breakable wall extending from here to the west. The heroes will destroy it, and once they do, the Onmyoji will be free to walk through the opening. Mozu is standing exactly at the end of his attack range, ready to kill him, hence the need for the javelin. We're again opting to equip Mozu with a lance and not a bow for accuracy's sake, and also for defensive purposes. Aside from the new reinforcements, we also have to start worrying about the enemies here in the northwest. They've been biding their time so far, but they'll activate on their own next turn. We'd like to get the jump on them now, before we get boxed in by the other enemies from the south and the east.
I will help you.
Let's give him hell.
Niles drops Nyx in a position where Mozu can meet her. Felicia makes good her escape by pairing with Jakob, but that's not all. Jakob transfers Felicia to Azura, and then he pairs up with Ophelia, who carries him north past the fort.
My foes should fear me.
Jakob's auras now cover the tiles just inside the range of the closest generals. Under that protection, we want to place a couple of units who are well equipped to fight those enemies, preferably with the power to punch through Wary Fighter. Perry and Felicia can do that. To get them there, Azura must deliver Felicia to Perry. She can do that from any direction, but Perry's right side is best. That leaves Azura near Benny, exactly 5 spaces away, close enough for him to walk over and pair up with her. Benny only has 4 movement, and Senna's squad of promoted infantry is about to activate, so Benny needs an escape route in the same way Felicia did. Having been refreshed, Perry and Felicia ride together past Jakob. Felicia equips her own anti-armor weapon, the Flame Shuriken, and then the duo separates. Against an A-rank Lance user, Perry's total bulk is 48, 30 HP, plus 15 defense, plus 4 from Jakob, minus 1 from weapon triangle effects. That's more than enough to survive a single hit, which is all Perry will take since the uppermost general acts first. On the other hand, Felicia has a problem. She will face a dual strike, if not from the uppermost general, then from the left-hand one, and what's worse is that she can't even survive the Silver Lance general's first strike. 38 is greater than 25 plus 8 plus 4. We must give Felicia at least 2 more points of defense, and we also need to protect her from any dual strikes. There's one way to do that: we give her a pair-up partner.
You are in good hands!
All right! I can help! How's my job?
I'll fight too. Pay attention! And then you need me.
Thanks!
Keaton goes west together with Mozu, who occupies the choke point with the Bronze Lance plus 2 equipped. It'll be Mozu's job to fight the heroes too. She just needs a little support, partly from Jakob, who patches her up. Since she dodged an Onmyoji's attack again, Mozu didn't actually take that much damage, but we'll go ahead and have Jakob use Mend anyway. That always restores her HP to full. Perry can finish off this general by relying entirely on Felicia's dual strike.
Shall we? Here's one more! Cool.
Perry arrives at level 20 in style, with excellent stat growths.
It'll be fun.
Felicia can one-round this general, who lacks Wary Fighter. However, after Felicia does that, we want someone else to take Leo from her so that he can kill the next enemy, the Berserker. Leo can do that when he's supported by Felicia because she gives him 4 points of speed, but his other support partners give him 2 points at best. If Felicia is going to be in the lead position killing the general, then she can't also be in back behind Leo afterward. Not without getting Azura involved anyway.
What should we do?
So let's do exactly that. We repeat what we did on turn 1. Azura sings Leo an inspiring song. In this way, when she carries Benny over, she can transfer him to Corrin before she sings. Corrin wants to continue building support with Benny because Benny is his first and best source for the Knight class. Leo now has more than enough speed to double the Berserkers with support from the likes of Niles rather than Felicia. He rides right back where he was, and before he switches to Felicia, he takes the Kodachi from Perry. Leo doesn't need it, but Odin will.
Such a nuisance.
All taken care of.
Are you scared? More to come.
Our next step is to set up Ophelia's first Vantage Sweep. To do that, we need to reduce her HP below 50%. One convenient way to do that is to have her attack this sniper. While she's at it, Ophelia can make Leo equip a sword. He needed his tomes before, but now we'd like him to progress toward unlocking the Levin sword. Although the sniper is on the wrong side of the weapon triangle, snipers have good natural accuracy, and Nosferatu cuts Ophelia's avoid. He'll probably hit her. If not, that's not a disaster. Ophelia will still have a chance to set up Vantage later. We just prefer to get it done now and not have to roll the dice again.
Don't worry. Concentrate. I believe in you.
Backed by Benny, Corrin kills the sniper using his horse spirit.
I'll do my best.
I did it!
The Berserker can only attack Corrin or Leo. Thanks to his weapon, Corrin reaches the 23 speed benchmark, enough to double the Berserker, just like Leo. In this situation, the Berserker's choice is no choice at all. One of the two Dark Knights he can fight has hugely greater defense, and his counterattacks would deal 21 damage twice. That is lethal. Note that Ophelia's Malefic Aura covers every tile adjacent to Corrin, so Corrin would actually deal 23 damage times 2. But enemies don't see the effects of hostile auras, so that doesn't factor into the Berserker's decision making. Leo also doubles, but he's now holding a physical weapon with which he barely deals over 25% damage per swing. From the Berserker's perspective, battling Leo is a much more palatable proposition.
I am Fate's accomplice!
What it takes for a physical unit to one-round the heroes up here is 35 attack and 23 speed. Happily for us, Mozu meets both of those thresholds by herself when she's under Jakob's inspiration. That means we don't have to rely on any parrot bonuses or dual strikes. When Nyx supports Mozu, we don't need her to hit. That's a huge relief.
Remain calm.
Again, the adventurer will never attack anyone as long as he has a path to at least one open village. Nyx need not fear him. After the heroes fight Mozu, all he will do is walk over by Mozu and stand there.
The chosen hero arrives! Are you scared? Can't let you do that!
My power is at your service. Stand aside! I did it!
The adventurer is not an immediate threat, but the mechanist behind him is. The adventurer is blocking the way, so he has to go.
Stiff upper lip.
This could be tough. Let's go. I'm not looking for trouble, but... Let me help you. One more! You didn't have to do that.
Jakob heals Mozu, and more importantly for our future turns, he heals himself.
Here I go.
To finish off the mechanist, we want Nyx to use Mozu's dual strike. For that to happen, Perry must shelter Azura. Corrin takes Azura, and then she sings to Nyx.
I will help you. This could be tough. You saved me. Appearances can be deceiving.
We've cleared the northern reinforcements entirely, and we've just about eliminated everyone between us and the final village. Now we can get a little taste of Ophelia's true power. She wants to kill all 3 enemies ahead of Senno: the Spearmaster, the Swordmaster, and the Omioji.
Fate has paired us.
Ophelia exchanges her Thunder Tome for the Forged one. Thunder +1 has equal might to Nosferatu, and it won't deactivate Vantage. It's the second strongest tome available, just a little weaker than Fimbulfetter, which is less accurate.
Ophelia Dusk is with you.
At the same time, Ophelia makes Corrin equip the Levin Sword, his most powerful weapon. After that, she takes him from Azura and drops him to the left, where he can support her. Ophelia has 35 displayed attack, plus 2 from Malefic Aura and another 2 from Jakob's Inspiration. Unlike Malefic Aura, Inspiration on player units is visible to the AI and does factor into its targeting algorithm. For his part, Corrin has 36 attack listed. He's not close enough to be affected by Jakob, but he does benefit from Ophelia's aura, since anyone who attacks Ophelia will be within 2 spaces of her. So in total, Corrin has 38 attack, and Ophelia has 39. Those numbers will kill the Spearmaster and the Swordmaster easily enough. The Onmyoji is another story. He has just 30 HP, but he has 19 resistance. Ophelia's 39 attack translates into 20 damage, and Corrin's 38 becomes 19 divided by 2, which rounds down to 9. We're just barely short of a kill. Either we boost Ophelia's attack by 1 point, or we boost Corrin's by 1. That's doable. All we need is for Leo or Felicia to pair with Corrin. That will happen after we get rid of the Berserker.
Go, go, go!
Keaton moves to separate Benny from Perry, since it's always better not to be paired up at the end of a turn, if you don't need to be. Since Felicia will earn more experience than Leo would by attacking, and she can help Leo train with swords at the same time, we're having her act now, leaving Leo to be Corrin's magic builder.
Yes!
So excited!
Odin takes the Kodachi off of Leo, and he also takes Niles. Then he kills the Berserker. Upon reaching level 5, Odin learns Seal Strength. Now he has satisfied all his duties. He met the training requirement, he got married or else we wouldn't be here, and he earned his A+ support with Laszlo in Paralog 21. He has done enough combat together with Leo to get that A support as well. The last thing left for him to do is to go to battle alongside Niles at least one more time, which will unlock their A support too. Then he can retire. It's a shame that he has to go. Like Selena, Odin has done a lot for us, and he could be a workhorse on many missions to come. But he can at least be sure that his legacy will be a mighty one indeed. You may have noticed that when Keaton moved away, he opened a path to Azura, and now the Spearmaster can run past Ophelia to reach her. Most of the time, by which I mean with the most common stat configurations between Azura and Ophelia, that doesn't seem to matter. Our Azura can survive the Spearmaster's attack. She has 25 HP with a tonic, she has 9 defense, she takes 1 less damage in the woods, and Jakob's aura reduces the damage she takes by 4, so she can take a single hit of up to 38 physical power without dying. Everything I know about the AI in this game says that the Spearmaster should always target Ophelia. Since nobody has activated Vantage yet, the enemies should not be aware of it. Normally, the AI prioritizes the attack that has the greatest chance to kill, and only the Spearmaster has perfect accuracy. So the Spearmaster should be the one to attack Ophelia first, but he never is. The actual first attacker always seems to be the Onmyoji. If the AI did know about Vantage already, then it would try to choose an attacker who could avoid dying before delivering his attack. Together, Ophelia and Corrin just barely deal enough damage to kill the Onmyoji, and only because of Malefic Aura. So the Onmyoji might think he is the only one who can attack Ophelia and live. If that's the right explanation, then after the Onmyoji's attack, we'd expect the Spearmaster never to target Ophelia. After all, he would see Vantage too, and he would know that Ophelia could kill him, so he'd go for Azura every time. But that's not how it works. Usually the Spearmaster goes second, right after the Onmyoji, and he attacks Ophelia anyway. What's even more mysterious is that, rarely, the Swordmaster goes second ahead of the Spearmaster. He dies to Ophelia, and once he does, the Spearmaster decides to attack Azura after all. I've done quite a bit of testing, and from what I can tell, this difference in behavior hinges on how Ophelia's stats grow on her first level. I would assume there's some kind of comparison between Ophelia and Azura, but I couldn't tell what specific factors are considered. What I can tell you is how the Spearmaster's choice affects other outcomes. If the Spearmaster attacks Azura, he's going to live. If he attacks Ophelia, he dies. For whatever reason, as far as I have seen, the Spearmaster's survival dictates the pathing of his teammates. The other Spearmaster in his group always goes west with him, and the Mechanist follows. The Spearmaster will end up just north of the pillars, with Senno to his left and the Mechanist to his right. Conversely, suppose the first Spearmaster dies to Ophelia. Then the other Spearmaster always runs north toward Mozu and Nyx. In that case, the Mechanist apparently has a free choice. Either he can follow the Spearmaster northward, which is bad, or he can follow Senno, which is good. Going north is bad because we want Nyx and Mozu to be able to eliminate the second Spearmaster without having to also face the Mechanist. So if we're in the situation where the Spearmaster attacks Ophelia, we'd be rid of him, but we might lose to the vagaries of movement rolls. In the rare cases where he attacks Azura instead, we'd have an extra enemy to deal with, and we'd have to shift our whole strategy to compensate for that. Which world do we live in? We're about to find out.
You'll be all right. I can help too.
What a performance!
Looks like we're in Universe B. After this, we expect the Spearmaster to go for Azura.
Most gratifying. Huh?
Is there a plan? This won't do.
One consequence of leaving an enemy wounded is that the priestess starts moving. She has an ally she can heal, and her AI tells her to do that. If the Spearmaster had simply died, she wouldn't have activated yet. She's another complication we'll have to compensate for. I've planned this campaign using a separate save file with fixed growths. That's usually very effective because this game offers so many tools to adjust stats that it's fairly easy to keep everyone close to their averages. But every once in a while, something weird happens, and this is one of those cases. What you're seeing now is the backup strategy I devised, a strategy that is meant to achieve all the same outcomes as usual in terms of experience, support points, and so on.
I'll support you.
If you'd like to play along, you can do what I did in reverse. Imagine that the wounded Spearmaster was dead to Ophelia, so Ophelia had one more kill under her belt than she actually does, and that the Spearmaster who's standing beside Senno had gone up the alley toward Mozu. For the rest of this mission, but most crucially on this turn and the next one, you need to make everything work out about the same way. How would you do it?
Well, how irksome.
Jakob wants to attack Senno, but there's a unit who can kill Jakob with a dual strike, the Spearmaster who normally would have gone north. Also, the wounded Spearmaster prevents Jakob from moving where he wants to go, into the woods by Corrin. I've already given away the fact that if everything had gone as I originally expected, then this Spearmaster would have been handled by Mozu and Nyx together. Instead, Nyx kills the wounded one.
Appearances can be deceiving. I'll go with you. Enjoy the afterlife.
That clears the way for Jakob, but we still have to get rid of the Spearmaster supporting Senno.
We can do this together.
Good luck.
Whatever works.
At least Jacob's problems are solved.
I'm with you. This is my chance.
We can't just leave Felicia standing here in front of 3 Spearmasters and a Berserker. Azura bails her out.
We need each other. Ready to go.
Honestly, now that I have a backup strategy for it, I like this situation better than the one I expected. All the enemies behave very predictably, and now that Felicia has managed to kill that Spearmaster, everything else should be essentially guaranteed to work. But one unfortunate consequence is that Mozu is not able to act on this turn in a way that can trigger Profiteer. We're going to lose out on a 21% chance at a gold bar. It's a very small price to pay, effectively just 63 gold, but it's a price nonetheless.
I won't let you die. Let's get started.
Perry trades her bronze sword to Corrin. He'd prefer to keep using a tome to continue training his weaponry, but sometimes he needs to make himself as weak as possible to control his damage. Benny attacks Senno. That's partly to chip him down a little more, but the main reason is to charge Benny's guard gauge. Senno is very low on HP, low enough for Niles to capture him with one shot from his bow.
Darkness whispers.
To deal with the Mechanist, we'll combine attacks from Leo and Ophelia. We'll want Leo to end this turn with his bronze sword equipped, but if that's the weapon he'll use, we need to make sure that he'll deal enough damage for Ophelia to pick up the kill afterward. Corrin's dual strike with fire is almost worthless. His best weapon is still his Levin sword. Ophelia deals the same 21 damage with Nosferatu as with Thunder +1, and we saw that Leo was hitting for 8 with the bronze sword. We need 7 more damage than that, not just the 2 that Corrin is offering. Suppose Leo uses his bronze sword for his initial attack, and then we have Ophelia trade with Corrin to equip the Levin sword. Corrin's attack power will be 17 plus 11 might, plus 2 from his sword rank, plus 1 with B rank weapon triangle advantage, plus 2 with Jakob's inspiration. And then 2 more with Malefic Aura, not from Ophelia but from Leo. That gives Corrin a total of 35 attack against 18 resistance. Corrin's Levin sword dual strike will be worth 8 damage. That's enough. 8 from Leo plus 21 from Ophelia plus 8 from Corrin is 37. Another method might be to have Leo attack with some other weapon first, and then to have Ophelia trade with him, leaving Corrin using only fire. But the pleasant thing, albeit not actually a helpful thing, about making Corrin use the Levin sword is that we can essentially replicate what he would have already done before, if only that one Spearmaster had decided to fight Ophelia like normal.
Shall we? Ophelia Dusk is with you.
Ophelia is supposed to be out of the way, so she lunges.
Ready for this? Not done yet!
What a performance!
We obviously can't let the enemies walk into the fort and kill Azura. And Benny is threatened too. He gets doubled by everyone. That's not so bad against the Spearmasters. His 28 defense, plus 2 from inspiration, is good enough to survive 2 of them. It's not good enough to survive the Berserker. 44 plus 3 plus 2 is 49, hitting him twice. Ouch. Except that it's not hitting him twice, all because Senno charged Benny's guard gauge. The Berserker will swing once, Benny will counter, and then parry will save the day. Benny could be attacked again from the side, but all we have to do is occupy the fort. That will protect Benny's flank and shield Azura at the same time.
If you die on me, I'll kill you. Yeah, I gotcha.
Keaton pulls Mozu to separate her from Azura, and then she changes Benny's weapon. That's important because the Brass Naginata can eliminate the Berserker's chance to crit. If we had forgotten to make the switch earlier, Mozu could also give Benny the weaker Javelin now. For her part, Mozu should equip her unforged bronze bow. She's going to dual strike for Keaton on this enemy phase, and we don't want Keaton to kill anyone. After equipping his Beast Rune, Keaton will drop Mozu to the left. Sadly, we can't have the two of them switch places for Profiteer's sake. The Berserker is as big a threat to Mozu as he is to Benny, and sometimes Mozu is weakened enough by now that the Spearmasters can kill her too. What should happen is that the Berserker will go for Benny first. The Spearmasters will then have three options. Number 1, Corrin, who's boosted twice over by Jakob. Second, Leo, who's a little less bulky than Corrin is. And third, the absolute unit that is Beast Rune Keaton on a fort. They're going to choose door number 2. Leo can only be attacked from two sides, one of which is also the only place where anyone can attack Corrin. But there are 3 Spearmasters alive. The last one will have to fight Keaton.
Can I go first? No. Take that. We can do this together. I'll protect you just in time. We've got trouble. I'll go with you. One more.
After Corrin equips his Fire Tome, we can set to work breaking down this last group of hostiles.
I'll do my best.
Benny attacks the right-hand Spearmaster using Corrin's support. This is for the support points more than anything. We don't want Benny to kill, and that's why Corrin sometimes needs to use the Bronze Sword rather than his Fire Tome.
We won't give up. Let me try.
Ophelia got to kill the Mechanist. That was a makeup kill. Now Leo needs one.
I'll fight too.
It'll be fine. No, no, no.
Failure is no option. All right, come on. We stand together. Oh, that's it? I'll protect you.
Corrin attacks the Berserker. We care about Corrin's tome rank, and we also care about Jakob's. Jakob will never be an especially powerful mage, so by comparison with his own raw magic, the upgrade from a Fire Tome to at least a Thunder +1 will be a significant boost. Corrin still does need more experience to reach level 7. The level 2 Berserker is a better source of XP than the Spearmaster, who is only level 1. We'll reserve the Spearmaster kill for someone who would appreciate it more. Someone like Nyx.
Be careful. Let's leave no survivors.
I guess I'll save your tail.
With age comes wisdom.
I believe in you.
Before Corrin finishes off the Berserker, he reaches into the convoy and pulls out Lightning, which he has just qualified for. Lightning is complete overkill. We want to use it to debuff Corrin's magic on purpose.
boy.
Corrin has reached level 7, and slightly ahead of schedule at that. He receives Malefic Aura, which is the last skill he really cares about in this class.
Be careful.
The Adventurer is very resistant. That makes him incredibly useful for tome practice.
Here I am. Not done yet.
Admit it, you need me.
Let me help you.
This time, Jakob moves away from Corrin so as not to upset the delicate balance of support points.
We won't lose. Oh, you're too slow.
Because the Priestess got activated early, she's already close enough to attack people. She can't kill Ophelia or Leo or Perry or Niles, but she could kill Azura, so we at least need to keep her away from the tile that Ophelia is currently occupying. Where the Priestess is now is really where we expected her to be next turn. We'd like to keep her right there, or at least very close to there, so that we can reproduce the original strategy as closely as possible. For that reason, Ophelia unequips her weapons and just stands in the way. She's acting as a meat shield, a role that you probably wouldn't expect for her. This adventurer is finally threatening to ransack the 4th village, so we have to get rid of him now.
I'm with you.
Before we do, Jakob can continue his tome practice. Corrin applies Heartseeker first, and he gives Azura someone to sing to. After she sings, she's in position to support Jakob.
Here we go.
Felicia will also support Jakob, but only after Nyx moves away.
Allow me to join you.
Nyx wants to fight the Priestess, and she wants to do it with help from Niles. Remember, the two of them must earn 2 support points on this mission. That will require 3 rounds of combat together, and so far they've only had 1. The Priestess can run around the south side of the spring, or, after the rest of the team moves away, she can also go along the north side. In that direction, the farthest she can go is where Leo is, meaning the farthest tile she can attack is the one right below Benny.
How very annoying.
Felicia sets up 2 spaces away from the adventurer, dropping Leo to the north. She equips a weapon that will allow her to deal a small but non-zero amount of damage.
Stiff upper lip.
Jakob rides over. First, he's going to use Azura's Dual Strike. Then we'll refresh him, and for the second attack, he'll use Felicia's Dual Strike. Saving the Shuriken debuff for later minimizes the total amount of damage he deals.
We won't lose. Let me help. Time for some killing.
Luck is on our side.
Be careful.
Whoa! 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 I can help!
Let's go.
Corrin again attacks with lightning. Strictly speaking, since Corrin has already reached level 7, there's no need to give him this kill anymore. But in cases where experience is tight and you're barely reaching an important milestone, it's always a good idea to build in some leeway. If Corrin had been denied any more experience earlier, say by an untimely crit from Ophelia that prevented him from dual striking, then he wouldn't have gotten to level 7 before now. Niles moves to support Nyx. Rather fortuitously, even though Ophelia has the same movement as the priestess, Ophelia can get out of range on her own power. The pillars between them slow the priestess down.
Are you scared? Put up a fight!
What now?
We're nearly done. There's one crucial thing we can't forget to do before we kill the
We
priestess.
can handle this.
Okay, old man, we take your point, but we'll also take your weapon. The Calamity Gate is the fourth treasure we picked up on this mission, and it's the most precious of them all. Like the Horse Spirit, this is a scroll. Both are totally unique in Conquest, since you can't buy them from the Dusk Armory. Also like the Horse Spirit and Lightning, the Calamity Gate isn't that impressive when judged on its raw stats alone, but its special effect is that it inverts weapon advantage and doubles its effect. That's right, this is the Dual Club, but for tomes. Having a 1-2 range dual weapon in their arsenal is a big reason why mages can be so absurdly effective in this game. Many lance or dagger classes are ostensibly designed to counter tome wielders. Enemies in such classes tend to be fast or highly resistant to magic, or both. Even a mage who stacks enough speed to double those enemies and enough magic to overcome their resistance can be thwarted by the weapon triangle if it makes their attacks miss. The Calamity Gate turns that around. At B rank, against an enemy with a lance or dagger rank of A or better, a fire tome, one of the most accurate tomes in the game, would be reduced to 70 or 75 hit. In the same situation, factoring in all the weapon rank and weapon triangle effects, the Calamity Gate's accuracy gets boosted from 70 to 95. A rank in tomes would take that hit value to 105, and S rank would raise it to 120.
Appearances can be deceiving.
All that remains for us to do is to chip down the priestess as inefficiently as possible, within the constraints that we want more experience on Nyx and Niles, more support between the two of them, and more tome experience on Jakob. Then we can kill her and we'll be done.
This will be enjoyable.
We need each other.
Oh, can I help?
Okay, let's go.
Is there a plan? This will do. Be steadfast.
Jakob's attacks are totally ineffectual, but that doesn't matter as long as he keeps getting that sweet, sweet tome rank progression, which is about to stop. This is our fourth round of combat against the priestess. After this, there's only one more round that can give us any weapon experience.
I'll handle this miscreant! You have my support.
I'm not looking for trouble, but I'm here!
Well, how irks. You'll be all right.
Corrin is weak enough to attempt one more attack on the priestess without killing her. That can give him one tiny extra scrap of experience. Again, when you're planning around level milestones, you always want to have a bigger buffer.
In like the night.
After a quick check to confirm that we have indeed gotten what we came here for, Niles runs past Nyx and he teams up with her to finish the mission.
How very annoying.
That was good for me.
Believe it or not, that only took 10 turns. Those first 8 turns were especially packed with action. Now it's all over, finally, and we're leaving here with an amazing haul. We've recovered 3 potent weapons and our 3rd spirit dust. And you, young Ophelia, we will watch your career with great interest.
Ophelia! Yes!
Huh?
Hmm?
Ta-da!
Huh.
Father.
What?
Yes.
Ha ha! Hey! No way. So excited!
Leave some for me.
A bonus prize. Mistletoe is Ophelia's personal weapon. It's a slightly stronger, slightly less accurate Fimbulfetter. The low accuracy makes it pretty situational. That's not all. Before this mission, we built the level 3 Fire Orb. As a result, our castle has a new arrival. Welcome, Flora. We'll give you a proper introduction once you get deployed for the first time, which won't be for a while yet. In our next episode, we trek through the backwoods of Hoshido, arriving at Conquest's most infamous stage. Can we find a way through? Can we even make it fun? Stay tuned and find out. I'll see you there.